calendar. It's all coming up today on V8 Extra.
Yes, we're in beautiful Tasmania, 30 kilometres south of Launceston, Symmons Plains Raceway. It's a real Aussie favourite, the 42nd time for an Australian Touring Car Championship or V8 Supercar Championship event. Hi everybody, welcome again to V8 Extra. Great to have your company today. And play resumes in the championship battle. Really looking forward to getting underway once again. The first of our super sprint formats for 2014. We've got back-to-back qualifying coming up very shortly, and then two 100-kilometre sprint races this afternoon. It'll be wall-to-wall V8 Supercar action. Really looking forward to it getting underway. Mark Scaife joins me as always. Scaife, when I come here, there's two things that hit me. I get a great sense of heritage because of everything that's happened here since back in 1960, plus what happened nearby Longford with the Australian Grand Prix, and you can be rock solid guaranteed of a great race when we come here.
Well, you certainly can. Hi Neil, hi everybody. The thing about this place, it's so intense, and we've seen some of the best racing in history at this layout. It seems a simple layout, it's only 2.4 Ks, but it is a great little racetrack. Yesterday, Crompo, the whole field was separated by 0.8 of a second.
On the subject of the whole field, 25 cars made up of 11 Holdens. We've got 6 Fords, Ford, Nissans, 2 Mercedes-Benz and 2 from Volvo, and here's the lineup of the players that'll be on the field this afternoon. Jamie Whincup is the reigning champion for Red Bull Racing. Garth Tander, Lee Holdsworth, Mark Winterbottom, just back from Brazil, by the way, and Chaz Mostert had a very good day yesterday in practice. Todd Kelly, Jason Bright, will speak to Brighty in the program, as you heard a moment ago. Big moment for him in Adelaide. Will Davison, Fabian Coulthard, first-time winner here at this venue last year in terms of the championship. Rick Kelly's looking good in the championship so far this year as well. Scotty Pye, David Wall were in his garage. Jack Perkins, Dale Wood, James Courtney. And James had a great run in Adelaide. Russell Ingall, more experience than any other driver in this field. I think it's his 15th visit to Tassie. Scotty McLaughlin, Robert Dahlgren, we'll see those guys in the program too. Michael Caruso, Tim Slade. Caruso will be let loose with the camera a bit later on in the program. Davey Reynolds, Shane Van Gisbergen, great start to the series. Nick Percat, James Moffat, and indeed Craig Lowndes. On that subject, it is time to welcome the man. And wow, what a great start to proceedings for you. 3 races, 3 podiums, a pole position, a win, and a 52-point margin in the championship. You should quit now.
I'd like to. Can we stop it now? It's look, it has been a great, obviously, start to the championship for us. But look, it's only round 1, and we're coming into round 2 this weekend, so lots to be played out over the course of the year.
Lowndesy, the championship, obviously, the back end of the year is where you've been very, very strong. The first part of the year now, I mean, it's a great start for you. It's the worst start for your teammate since you've been with Triple Eight. Obviously got to capitalise. This weekend there's big risk here, but isn't there? Well, there is, and it's obviously, as you guys have said, it's one of the smallest tracks, and we lap under a minute. Of course, it's got one of the tightest corners of any track that we race on. So the hairpin down in turn 4 is always, caused a lot of drama and carnage and everything else. But around here, it's so difficult to get a clean lap.
You did a good job yesterday, though. You ended up being the fastest man at the end of Friday practice, and you've got form here, 6 race wins, and you've got some pole positions tucked away as well. But we're interested in this rivalry that's going on between you and the Holden Racing Team guys at the moment. That really manifested itself in the battle in Adelaide between you and James. It was great motor racing.
Oh, look, it was, and it was sort of later stages of the race. I clipped the wall there the last lap, and I was trying everything, but...
what were you thinking?
I thought if I can get a run on him down into turn 9, I'll be right. But, of course, James did a fantastic job. Towards the end of the race, James passed us. We were trying to look after fuel consumption. And, of course, then at the end, the safety car came out. The boys said, look, get on with it, get on him. And, unfortunately, we just didn't get there.
And what do you think in terms of the car? Obviously, that was a really good way to start the year. But for this place, different sort of demand. Is it good enough? Is it looking after the tyres well enough to win here?
Well, we think so. I think that obviously today's racing is all sort of more of a 42 lappers. Sunday's the 80 lappers. So that's where you're going to really have to look after your tyre. But we think we are. The car is feeling good. We've had obviously practice gone now, and really we've been working pretty hard to make sure that we have good drive off the corners, which will look after the tyre, but also stability through 7. Yeah, getting onto this last little section here, you want good speed.
Yeah. Look, I had to go back through reams of paperwork to find when you last won the championship. It was 1999 for you. You've been runner-up 5 times, 3 times in the last 3 years. Will you win the championship this year? That's what all the fans want to know.
Yes.
Good.
Well said.
Well done. Well said. Why don't we make that the viewer vote question for you today? We want your engagement on this process as well. So grab the 7 Sport app or get onto the V8 Supercar website and you tell us whether you think this bloke can actually get the job done. Thanks for dropping by.
No worries. Thank you very much, guys.
Now. You've got a couple of very heavy-duty qualifying sessions coming up. Talking about heavy-duty, we had a great start to the championship of the Clipsal 500. It was a mega event. We heard about his run. We heard about James Courtney. And, of course, for Jason Bright, it was a bit spooky as well. He's coming up very shortly on the program. Stay with us. This is V8 Extra.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It's the start of something very big. The stage is set for what is sure to be another classic Clipsal 500. And the battle is back on. And already push and shove with Chaz Mostert. But he's into the wall, Mostert. And it looks as though he's on the way again. The winning ways continue for Jamie Whincup.
Scott McLaughlin, front row of the grid on debut for Volvo.
In many ways, it's the great unknown. Off they go into the twilight. At the Clipsal 500, crunch for James Courtney. Extraordinary drive from this 20-year-old, holding off five-time series champ.
Nothing in it. Whincup is at the absolute edge of the braking performance. He goes wide. No, trying to get underneath him. When they get to 10, the crowd reacts. This is fantastic. Whincup up the inside. McLaughlin gives him some space. They run, but the Red Bull Racing man has got through. The champion's done the job.
Unbelievable.
It's not over.
Back, and Scott McLaughlin puts one on the champ. And Volvo into second on debut.
I don't know what happened on there. I just plucked her in first, gave some gen. Yeah, sorry.
Third and final race of the Clipsal 500. It's already been an extraordinary weekend.
He's in.
Oh, he's gone into the wall. Straight into the wall and huge damage. Jason Bright over and up and into the wall. Oh, Jamie Whincup trying to salvage his day and he makes contact with Michael Caruso.
Oh, in the wall for Perkins. Perkins has gone into the wall.
He's just got to get through cleanly for Jack Perkins. So there's traffic on the flips the wall. And the rivalry between the Holden Racing team and Red Bull Racing Australia, it's on. Courtney gets the win. Here we go. He's got the guns out and Frank the Tank is back in business.
Can you hear the siren call?
And then the short journey across to Launceston for the annual parade through town. It's extremely popular with the fans. We've got 16 teams transporters, plus there's a Dunlop transporter and all the V8 supercar gear as well. Welcome back to V8 Extra. We're in preview mode for the Tyre Power Tasmania 400. Nice to have your company today. Well, we all had an uncomfortable moment in Adelaide a couple of weeks ago at the first round of the championship, especially for Jason Bright and Team BOC. We held our breath for that violent rollover that he had, and it was a spooky moment for him in his 448th race. It'll be a moment that Jason remembers forever. Thankfully, he's okay, and he's with Mark Larkham.
Well, Jason Bright, thanks for joining us here this morning, mate. I'm really keen to go back after that Adelaide weekend. First of all, mate, you started the year in last year's chassis and you come out of the box firing. The car was fast from the outset.
Yeah, I was really happy with, we had a good test Eastern Creek and, Adelaide was going great. I felt as though we had really good speed in qualifying and we had a good race car. Saturday didn't go well. We broke an anti-roll bar and had a bad pit stop, but, I felt as though Sunday we're in for a good day.
Yeah, well, it does, mate. I mean, I know you call that chassis mistress. It's been very good to you. In fact, one of our tips for a really good season this year. But it all went pear-shaped at the start. Now, we've talked a lot about these restarts, the rolling starts. We've been using a double grid. Now we did a single file one. Talk us through what actually happened here, mate.
Well, I think that, the reason why that one went wrong was, I think the first two guys went too early and the Triple Eight guys have been pinged before for going with, the car that's gone too early. And so they did the right thing, held back. The trouble is all the engineers are telling the rest of us when to go. So, that created a massive concertina. And it's when you're sitting in a V8 supercar right up the bum of the one in front, you can't see when the other cars are going. So you're relying on the engineers and, it's not hard to get wrong.
Now, looking at the action itself, mate, obviously you thought you were safe on the outside there. It looks like you've ridden over the wheel of Garth Tander. So just talk us through the specific. How did you end up in that situation? Very unusual for that to happen, mate.
Well, I mean, I got a blind of a restart, better than my standing starts. And, I got a really good run and, we're sort of going down the outside with James there to go over the curb. And, obviously we've got the trip up from Garth and, I sort of knew I was going over from about there. Once it got to that curb and it got to that point, there was sort of no coming back.
And have you got a view, mate, on, Garth didn't cop a penalty. Did you have a view on that? Do you think he should have?
Well, I mean, he was certainly getting squeezed by both Tim on the inside and myself, and, you know, sometimes you have to back out of that. You know, I thought there was a pretty dubious incident last week at the Grand Prix as well that he was involved in, but, you know, it's up to the stewards to make those decisions, and, you know, we just get on racing. You know, the restarts thing, you know, that certainly puts us in these situations where you do have a lot of, you know, crowding going into the first couple of corners. Probably shouldn't have been as much as what we saw in that situation there.
All right, well done, mate. Good to see you in a new chassis this weekend, and I reckon you're in good shape back and going fast again. Rihanna?
Yeah, Brad Jones, we know they breed them tough down in Albury, but it's situations like this that it really highlights the importance of having good guys and girls in the team, because it's long hours to get this car rebuilt.
Well, it was crazy. You know, fortunately, we had a car that was almost completed, and so a couple of days, what seemed like a couple of days' work, but they finished in 12 hours with the chassis shop. Then we got to the paint shop, and then, of course, putting it all together. But one of the great things about, you know, our group at BJR is everyone got in and helped. So it didn't matter whether you were with the Lockwood Racing team or the AdVam team. You're over here giving the guys at Team BOC a hand to build the car, and, you know, we got it knocked over a day quicker than we thought, which was fantastic.
And for those who might have seen on Facebook, you put the whole story on. You also did a time-lapse video. What sort of inspired, you know, that to happen?
Well, often I've seen those things and they look great, and you know, building of the cars, and we're just looking for opportunities for people to be able to see how much work actually goes into it. And so the guys got together and thought it was a good idea, and so we set up a couple of Sony cameras and away we went. And really, I think the vision is amazing to watch. I've watched it half a dozen times. It's just crazy. It's a pity they can't move that quick normally.
And the name of the car, traditionally you have female names to your car. It's called Brody because of the little young lad from Wangaratta put his pocket money to the team because he wanted to see you guys racing back out there.
Yeah, he obviously knew how tough things were at the moment, and so he sent his pocket money in and given it to Bridie so he could see him race at Winton. He comes from Wangaratta, so it's nice and close. So it'll be great. He'll come along and be, you know, part of the team, I guess, when we get to Benalla in a week.
It's a great story. We're glad the car's back here and ready to race. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks very much.
It is a great story. Thanks, Rihanna, and to BJ. It was $10.20 that Brodie put towards Jason Bright's effort. That's fantastic to see the passion of the fans, and you can see the drivers there in preparation for qualifying. Hey, by the way, Rihanna's got a very busy weekend in the pit lane because Barrett's is off on tour de cure duties at the moment. Good luck with that, Barrett's. And, well, on the subject of Brad Jones Racing, what about the performance of these guys last year in New Zealand? We're returning to Pukekohe, looking forward to that one. It was an awesome weekend for Jason Bright, winning the Jason Richards Trophy. April 24 through 27, Pukekohe Park Raceway, New Zealand's largest annual sporting event. 4 big, exciting V8 supercar races and 1,000 pairs of jandals for the next 1,000 tickets sold. Ticketek.co.nz. The details are up on screen there. And here, last year for Lockwood Racing, it was an extraordinary weekend as well because it was the location where Fab's got his first championship win in V8 supercar racing.
He joined the category in 2004. He's done more than 180 races. And today, in a brand new format, Fabian Coulthard wins the 60-60 race at Simmons Plains.
I love that first win, you know. I wasn't handed it, you know, I wasn't gifted it, I had to work for it.
He's side by side with Whincup.
Crucial moment in the career of Fabian Coulthard.
The feeling of crossing the line, seeing the team cheering, you know, I've been working hard for this moment for years, and to finally get it was pretty emotional. For me, it's confidence. I always knew I had the ability to do it. I've now put it into practice, and it's just given me that much more confidence to do the job.
Here comes Fabian Coulthard, right on time.
Kelly and Fabian Coulthard, they visited the Hollybank Treetops Adventure. It's about 15 to 20 minutes northeast of Launceston on a zip-line tour to the cloud platforms. What an amazing experience. On that subject, the Joseph Cromery Winery in Launceston for Tim Slade and James Courtney, an 1880s homestead. Nice place to be today. That's just some of the attractions they've got down here in Tassie. Now, the V8 Supercar boys are prone to the odd road trip, but what about after the non-championship Australian Grand Prix event for the Volvo drivers, Scotty McLaughlin and his teammate Robert Dahlgren? They took the ultimate trip to Sweden.
I've been racing for 25 years, but I've been a factory driver for Volvo for the last 10 years. Yeah, I've followed the championship for quite a while, and everyone in Europe knows how strong the championship is. And for myself, it's been a dream to go to Australia. I love the country, and when I got the question, and it just took me about 1 second to answer it, so I went straight up yes, and up we went. At the moment we are in north of Sweden, that's where I come from, and I went to show Scott where I come from, and also what we do with Volvo and Polestar to test and develop the road cars.
What are you doing now, Swede? What are we doing?
I'm going to show you what we do normally in winter testing, what we've done with this car.
So this is the test track?
This is the test track, this is where we spend all the time with the car.
Do it in an open fire like this, or a good day.
It's a bit bulky. So if I teach you how to drive on the Iceberg, you teach me how to drive the V8 even faster than...
I don't know if we can count that, but...
What are we doing? Are we working? Yeah. I feel sorry for the poor bastard who gets my car. Here in the Volvo wind tunnel, we are just trying to tune up my handle.
It's 8 metres down the hill, and it's got 8,600 horsepower, more than your car.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much. It was awesome.
No worries. Good fun.
So, did you book tickets home, or?
No, you were supposed to book them.
Wasn't that fantastic? And Scotty was 6th fastest yesterday in the Volvo, had some problems with steering. Look at this for a lineup. That's the autograph queue to catch up with the man that was on the show just a few moments ago, Craig Lowndes. And our viewer vote question, can he win the championship in 2014? Go to v8supercars.com.au, or you can vote via the 7 Sport app. And check this out, we're preparing for qualifying. Transporter Cam, there they are, pre-briefing at Nissan. And Michael Caruso yesterday was the fastest of the boys, and Rick Kelly, who's sitting up the back left at the moment with Eric Pender, he's 4th in the championship after the first event down in Adelaide. Now, Michael's prone to doing a bit of Jimmy Olsen work for us from time to time, so we sent him back out in reporter mode yesterday to find out amongst the boys what they drove for a first car.
Hi everyone, Michael Caruso here. Now your first car is your rite of passage for every young boy. I managed to muster up enough money to get an old 1980 beige Toyota Corolla. So we're going to head down pit lane and ask the boys what their first car was before they got to drive one of these bad boys.
I had a 1600cc Mazda Familia, fire engine red because apparently it was faster. I had the Doof Doof, you name it, it had it. It's a beautiful little car, could tell a few stories.
Now Dale, what was your first road car?
She was a little two-door Gemini, and no, it was a dead-set rocket. I put it on its roof twice, but one of the times Dad came running out. I'd come home from wherever I'd been and hooked into the paddock to do a couple of skids and put her on its roof. And Dad came out fuming because he'd just done the lawn nicely in that paddock, and the oil was pouring all out and killing his beautiful lawn. He didn't care about me and having a handbrake stuck in my leg.
Oh, I've never actually owned a car. I've always had freebies.
What, even when you're a young tagger?
Yeah, I was wheeling and dealing when I was about 14.
Grown up on the farm and you would have had many, many cars, but what was your very first car?
I actually had a little mini minor. For my birthday, Mum and Dad got me a brand new set of tyres, and what? That's good, fresh rubber. And I managed to wear them tyres out without leaving the property before I got my licence. We had a little roundabout and a 100-metre long bitumen driveway. I used to do laps and laps and laps until the tyres were worn out.
Jacko, you've grown up at the racetrack and you've been around race cars your whole life. I'm expecting your first car was something special. Can you tell me a bit about it?
Nothing special, mate. Let me tell you, I saved up about $300-400 for my first car, and I've been looking through the trading post. I found this 64 Corona, bird poo colour, sensational looking thing, right?
And what ended up happening to your car?
I think it broke a diff or something, and it got too hard to fix. So a mate of mine up there's got his ballistics licence, and we actually blew it up with about 4 kilos of ammonium nitrate. So there's not much left of it.
You're stuck with me. You've drawn the short straw. You've got JC, car 22. But we're here at Simmons Plains this weekend. Crazy little circuit. Doesn't look that exciting on paper, but trust me, it's one hell of a circuit. So let's see how we do. Radio up around. The lead up onto the main straight is not even straight. You're hanging, soaring at the wheel. This little section up over the hill here, it's like a roller coaster. Using a lot of curve here, trying to get the rear of the car settled. It's like wrestling a bear in here through there, up against the wall. Try and run along the wall here to just get as much straight line speed out of the thing as you can. Jump onto the brakes, massive stop here. Whoa, lock the rears a little. Slowest corner on the track, back to first, hard on the power, all the circuit out of there. Up here, a little bit of a time to relax, maybe do a bar adjustment. Some boys check their hair, bit of makeup on. Up into the last corner, it's a big bad stop. Up into here, back to third, the car's dancing around. Up into the apex, hard onto the gas out of here. Short shift to fourth, and just hang on to the thing. It's a wild little lap, and let's see how we go in the car 22 over the weekend, guys. Cheers.
Nice job, James. But what a thud to earth. He was the winner of race number 3 in Adelaide. He was 24th in practice yesterday. They missed the setup with that car. What about this one, folks? Carpooling in the V8 Supercar universe. In tomorrow's show, we're carpooling with the drivers from Walkinshaw Racing, inviting viewers and fans to visit our Facebook site to post the questions you want asked by the boys. And then their mini road trip out to the circuit, they'll try and do their best to fire back an answer. Go to facebook.com, V8 Supercars. News time now. Here's Noons with all the latest gossip and news. Noons?
Well, Cromley, after the Clipsal 500, plenty of chat about those restarts at the Adelaide season open. And there's been some changes for this weekend and for the rest of the championship. The speed will increase for the restart. Previously, it was between 50 and 60 kilometres per hour. It's now between 60 and 80. There'll be no overtaking before the start-finish line, and those acceleration zones, the gap between the AZ boards has been extended. There'll be no green flag 2 from the starter's box. The leader will take their cue. They'll be the ones to really get rolling and get these races back underway. Mark Winterbottom has been on a bit of a whirlwind world tour in the last 7 days. Last weekend, he was at Interlagos in Brazil, the Formula 1 track, racing in the local Brazilian stock car series. He finished 4th, his first time racing overseas in something other than a V8 supercar, and then he and his teammate would move it up because another car was excluded, so he finished in 3rd. All-star race weekend. Rubens Barrichello, Max Wilson, a former V8 driver, was over there. Great weekend all round. Winterbottom's form here at Simmons Plains too, by the way, is really sensational. He may have only won 1 race here since he joined FPR in 2006, but he's finished in the top 5, 18 of those 20 races. It's quite a phenomenal stat. He's had 3 poles here, and he's the best performed qualifier of any driver in terms of V8 supercars at Simmons Plains by the averages. Simmons Plains, historic racetrack. Have a look at this shot on screen. This is 1971 when the start-finish line was back around the corner on the run down to the pit straight. It's the 45th anniversary this year of the championship competing here. We first came here in 1969. I think you were even here, Neil. Volvo, 1985. Check out the vision. Robbie Francevic taking a win in the Turbo 240. He went on and won the next year in 1986. 29 years on, let's see if Scott McLaughlin and the Volvo team can claim their first championship win in the V8 supercar era. And we've talked about this place being historic. It's a really great little part of the world. This place has hosted more championship events than any other except for Sandown, and of course we visit there for the 500 in September later on in the year. Tomorrow, some more news for you, including someone, an out of contract big name factory driver. We'll have more tomorrow.
Thanks, Noons. There's a bit going on up and down the pit lane at the moment. Scafey, those old images for me are fantastic. There's been some very high quality racing here over the years, but we're counting down to qualifying. Race 4 and 5, we're going to have back-to-back quali, 10 minutes each, highly intense. Here's the boys getting ready.
Absolutely. This is the most important part of the weekend. Qualifying here, very, very difficult. Lowndes needs to be at the front of the field here, Croppo, because it has big championship implications if you don't qualify well.
Corresponding qualifying session last year, there was half a second covering 22 cars. Everybody's getting in the vehicles. We're counting down to quali. That's coming up next. We've got 2 big races on the V8 Supercar card this afternoon right here on 7.